Hello everyone, I'm Jatin Rajpal, and today I'm going to present on this small but very powerful bulk update utility that I wrote a couple of months back uh, as a part of my current role. Uh, I'll give a brief introduction about myself. So I'm currently working with United Healthcare within their data engineering division. I'm working there as an associate manager or engineering lead. You can say that they have this fancy title. I'm not sure because of what, because I don't manage any team or stuff. Uh, so my current responsibilities are engineering and implementation of open source tools and technologies within our data engineering space. So along with that, I've also been working on the various automation initiatives within our team. So that's my quick introduction. Without spending much of the time, I'll move to the second, which is like the problem statement. And yes, before starting, I would want to say that it's a very small slide deck that I've prepared. Uh, like I'm gonna speak mostly things. Like I don't have it on slides, and most of the thing, like I want people to just ask questions, and whatever I'll be able to answer, I'll answer. If not, then probably I'll come back and give you answers to that. So, talking about the problem statement. So, what was the business problem that we really wanted to solve? So, I'm sure everyone in the support role would understand. Particularly in multi-tenant environment, when there's a issue, and let's suppose some service which 10 or 15 teams are basically using, and that service suddenly went down because of that service. So 10 to 15 teams which were using it are impacted. Now I'll give you a real life scenario. So what happens is every team raise at least one incident with that service, for that service informing us. But we really, because of our monitoring and stuff, we already are aware. Even if we are not aware, we'll get to know as soon as the first ticket come. But the problem is, there are two problems associated. So one is definitely we have to work for that service to be up. The outage has to be issue has to be resolved. And then the second problem is that tickets number that we got to manage all those tickets. And definitely, it takes a lot of human effort to manage all those tickets. uh, it's a very time consuming redundant task. You are already aware of it, we've discussed it. And definitely not a very good use of an engineer's time, a technologist's time, closing those tickets. But yes, these are operational overhead which we have to bear, and we have to work accordingly. Over and above this, it does paint a wrong picture in front of our leadership. It makes the platform appear very noisy. So this was the problem statement. I'm sure everyone here would sort of understand and would sort of agree with me on this. So this was the problem statement. When I joined this organization, was there. I would also like to tell you that I'm relatively new to this organization. It's just last year I joined this organization, and I've been working on different projects. But yeah, this was the one problem which I've been tasked, like, okay, we have to solve it. So that was the problem statement and the business problem, what exactly we wanted to solve. Any questions on it, or maybe I can proceed. And anyone have any question, just interrupt me, no problem.
So the bulk of the tickets you're talking about, are they tickets that are generated by automated monitoring? I would assume they would be if there's a large amount of them.
So both actually. So basically, within our domain, I'm particularly in data engineering field. So we own a couple of products like Informatica, Data Stage, SSIS, Apache NiFi, open source one. So along with those products, we within those products we have different jobs that run. So one is definitely our tenants which are raising those tickets. Other than that, whenever it's failing, some of our licensing jobs that were running failed, and then those have also alerted us through maybe the ServiceNow tickets and all, TWS tickets and all. So it was actually both, to answer your question.
Okay, so it's like a monitoring flood. So if you know you have one issue, but monitoring from 5 different angles generates 300 tickets. Yeah, I understand.
Yep, absolutely. So going to the solution, so what exactly we did, so we leveraged ServiceNow API functionality. So ServiceNow API functionality comes out of the box with ServiceNow. Like we wrote some Python code, and you made use of the ServiceNow API functionality, and using that we build this bulk update capability within our space. So what exactly it does is it collates all the incidents of a similar nature, and then whatever user wants. So for example, right now my ticket, I've got a ticket. So there are multiple. I'll give you a real life scenario. So I've got a ticket. I've got a problem, and then I've started getting tickets. All those tickets would initially be in to be work state. So whenever as an engineer I would start working on it, I'll probably put them into work in progress state. So that's another state within ServiceNow, and I'll start to work on the actual issue then. Before starting, like after that, I'll resolve that issue, and again I will close all of these. And between that also I need to update all of my tenants. I would have to update the ticket regularly. So within that issue also, there are multiple what I would say, multiple times I have to go to ServiceNow and basically do things, or I would have one person just to manage those tickets and one person just to tackle that incident. So with this solution in place, with this capability in place, a person. So what we really had was, I'll tell you what exactly we did. So we had Rundeck in front, and we had that Rundeck front, beautiful front end, where we just wanted to give the, so for example, service alpha is down. So we just want to give that keyword. Okay, that alpha is something that would be common across all the incidents. So move all the incidents which have alpha within their short description and move them into work in progress state. So with the button click, all the incidents with that particular alpha as a keyword would be moved, and then we'll start working on that actual issue. Once we recovered that issue, again I'll go to Rundeck, again put that alpha, and would instruct Rundeck job to, or you go to ServiceNow, all the incidents with alpha, just close them with the comment that okay, the issue has been resolved, please try restarting your applications. So this is a sort of capability that we had developed within our team, and definitely this is something that we shared within our organization also. So within our organization, we started off within our own division. People liked it, and and then we shared this capability on a wider group within our organization. So we've seen people started using it, and definitely coming on to my next point, which is like we can promote this as a reusable code. So I'll tell you what exactly happened. So when we actually asked teams to make use of this capability, some of them used it the way we are using it. So definitely they didn't had to make any changes within the code, and they started using it like we are using. Some of them, what they did was they used it as a component. And for example, this is the capability that we have right now. They to do it in a bit more customized way, what they did was they wrote their own code on top of it, and built a customized solution for themselves. So that actually happened. I wanted to just make you aware for it. Other thing that I want to put here is, so this combination of our tech, so Python plus the ServiceNow API capability, it is very powerful. I want to specifically highlight that it is very powerful because you can build endless solutions with it. So one more solution that we actually build using the same stack is detect and auto close the false incident. I'm sure this is something which is very much dependent on your set of environment. Like for us it was different, for you it would be definitely different. So basically we just need to understand the pattern and code it accordingly. But yeah, definitely we were able to detect and auto close all the false positives using the same tech. So that's the solution part, and definitely it was an enabler for our team. If anyone have any questions on it, we'll be more than happy to answer. Otherwise we can move to the next slide.
You mentioned teams consuming this and sort of extending it. What sort of challenges did you face? And I guess ideally, what sort of solutions did you come to solve those?
Okay, so our organization is very sort of you know very, I would say, length and breadth of the organization is very high. So definitely it was just that, but definitely people understood the utility and its benefit, and they were very open. I would want to say that they were open and they were able to adapt it. From challenge perspective, definitely the only challenge was uh, I don't think there was any challenge. Basically, people understood the benefits and they were ready to adapt it. Definitely. So the only thing that people took was they took time to understand it, and then some people they wrote their own apps on top of it. So that was, I guess, the tricky part, because every developer has their own mind. So for example, I've written code, I'll be writing it in my own way. Dennis, if he writes it, he'll write it in its own way. So something which is correct this way, other way, other person can do the other way. So that was the challenge, nothing other than that.
Do you have to manage so perhaps you're evolving or adding functionality? Do you have to sort of manage the life cycle of this, or do you just
No.
kind of do you just hand it over and say here's a solution, consume it?
So what we did was we published all the code and documentation and everything within our internal GitHub repository. So everyone who was trying to use, they just needed to clone that repository, do the changes, and make changes on their own and started using it. So that's what we
Nice.
did.
Thanks.
Sure. So that was the solution part. Uh, I just wanted to give a bit about the logic part also, like what exactly was the logic. So basically, it all starts with the user input. So you would see 6 inputs from user. So all 6 of them were not provided like as an argument. So 4 of them were provided as an argument, and 2 of them are added as a part of config.ini, which is basically a configuration file. So all in all, there were 6 inputs from the user. First one is the use search keyword. So like I took example of service alpha. Alpha would be the keyword that, okay, this is the keyword that we want to capture across our incidents. So other one is action. So it is like what exactly what is the action that we want to take. uh, comments, any comments that we want to put within our ticket. Desired state, I'm sorry, desired state and action is the same thing. So I wrote it wrongly probably here. So it's the desired state only which we really wanted to pass. Other thing, other than the desired state would be anything like you would understand that there are different states of incident within ServiceNow. Uh, to be worked, work in progress, waiting client, waiting IT, all that would come under the desired state. Group name is like the ServiceNow assignment group that we have within on ServiceNow. And definitely to have it you know as a community wide usage, to like I parameterize the URL as well. So for example, every company would be having their own different URL. For us it is different, something dot servicenow.com, something dot servicenow.com. So that was something that we can pass. And these last two were, I was basically passing it through a configuration file. So 3 of them I was passing with the I'm passing with the as an argument something like $1, $2, $3, or say sagvi. One say sagvi, two say sagvi, three in Python language, and group name and service now within the config.ini configuration file. Second part within the logic is, we are fetching the group sysid. So every group assignment assignment group has a unique identifier called sysid. So we are basically fetching that for each group, for each input, and definitely the further steps are basically being done through sysid only. Now I think you would ask me like why I'm using sysid when I have already have a group name. I think I would want to tell you that basically it is because everyone has their own group. and everyone have their own, group naming convention. Something like people are using somewhere ampersand, somewhere people are using underscore, somewhere people are using something different. So we really didn't wanted to get into that. We really just wanted to fetch the sysid, and then after that, we use that identifier, basically apart from using the group name, because group name could be anything, and then we'll have to play around with the special character. So we really didn't wanted to get into that. So after fetching this sysid, we are doing a get call, and we are fetching all the incidents within our assignment group which have that keyword, the keyword that we have passed as a first input. So we are fetching all the incidents, and then whatever incidents that we are getting, we are storing it into a list, a Python list. So after that, we'll have to, so up till now we have just done the get call. So it's like a select that we are doing on ServiceNow database through API. And after that, now it's like we've got all the data, we know what to do. Now we have to basically change the states and play around with that. So we'll have to do a post call after that. So one by one we have to basically fetch the elements from the list, and then we have to move it to the desired state. So that we have to do. And that's what we have done. It's a looping exercise that we have done, and once the loop is done, it's like it's just ended. Only complication here within this logic is in the loop part. I'll tell you why. Because there are 6 states or 7 states. So for every state, if we have to close the ticket or we have to move the ticket, it needs certain JSON body. Okay, body of JSON that we have to pass along with the API. So for every other state, we had to make a different JSON file, or a JSON body. So just that part was sort of tricky, but still we were able to manage it, uh, and we were able to test all of the code along for all the required states. So that's the logic part. I'm done actually. This was the content that I had. With this, I'm gonna open the floor for any questions that you guys might have.
How do you do testing against ServiceNow? Have you got like a non-prod instance or something, or do you? I see you nodding, so that's my answer.
Yeah. So we have 2 instances. One is the prod, which we all use, and the other one is non-prod, which we've used.
If you had to do it again, would you do anything particularly differently?
Maybe definitely. So I'll tell you my own experience. So I've got my code. So as a part of moving the code to an external website, external repo, there was a review process that was done. So that review process I've done with a gentleman who's like a Python expert, and definitely he's at a VP level. Okay, and definitely that was an eye opener for me, because the points he highlighted definitely didn't came to my mind, because my experience, I'm at a very different level, he's at a very different level. So definitely, if I'm writing a code again, I'm gonna take all those inputs with whichever he gave are in my mind, and I'm gonna write a better code, definitely, straight from the day one.
Cool.
I just want to go to sorry, I've got a question in the chat. Just finish off what you were going to say, and then I'll go to the question. Sorry.
I think the irony, I want to say that I think the irony is, after doing the 99% of the process, after following that process, still I was not able to push my code because of this last minute, reveal done by ServiceNow team. So.
Right, I've got a question in the chat. Ejimo4, I think, if I've got that right. If this ServiceNow solution was implemented in a public cloud, wouldn't it have been easier employing an IAC facility such as Terraform's HCL in defining the parameterized states, such as the desired state parameter? So I've just read that verbatim. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask back. Ejimo4, maybe you could come on if you need to, if you can. I don't know if you've got a mic.
So I think I really have no idea on the public cloud, like if the solution is implemented on public cloud. But definitely, I want to say that it's like finally I've used ServiceNow API capability only. So I was skilled with Python. I use Python. If anyone wants to use any other language, they can use. I'm sure Terraform. I really have no idea on Terraform, but I'm sure it must be similar to Ansible only. I have some idea on Ansible. So if at all that is required, we will be able to do it, because finally it's just the API functionality that we've used, and everything is already built out of these API functionality, which we get out of the box feature within ServiceNow. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, but yeah, this is what I could.
Nice one. Last call. Has anyone else got any more questions? Okay, right. Fantastic. Nice one. Thank you, Jatin.
No problem.
Yeah, brilliant. You're off the hook now. You can relax and chill. I know what it's like doing your your first one.